You recently mentioned that since coming into office, you've paid off all of the debts of NAFDAC up to 3 billion naira. How is NAFDAC funded?
NAFDAC is, that's a great question too. NAFDAC is funded through user fees. User fees are fees that we collect from different companies that pay us to evaluate and hopefully approve their products. We call those user fees. That is very, very significant in terms of our day-to-day spending. Then we have the IGR. The IGR is made up of administrative charges, you know, imports, you are importing this and so on, not for approval. The IGR is about maybe 20% or less than 20% of our total revenue. So that is how we are funded. The government gives us little or nothing, meaning, I would say the National Assembly gives us little or nothing. Let's say we propose 8 billion naira for capital. They may give us 200 million naira. 8 billion to 200 million, that's nothing. But it is partly because generally we don't understand what goes into regulatory controls in Nigeria. And USA was like that before, until crisis came about 40 years ago in the US with FDA, and the government started doing the right thing. In the US, let's say that 8 billion example that I was giving for you, like user fees, the US government will match every year. We contribute 8 billion to FDA. Why? Because you have equipment that you have to make sure that they are updated. You know, you have, of course, you know, physical facilities, you have inspection, and so many things that you need to spend money on. Because without that, the staff may be compromised. Our staff are usually interfacing with people who say, oh, we can give you 100,000 or to 200,000, 1 million and whatnot. And that is also tied with the way I look at staff and workforce.
This excuse me, this conversation about the National Assembly is actually very instructive. 8 billion to 200 million naira, I think it's a far cry. So what exactly is the issue? Is it that there is inadequate understanding of what NAFDAC is doing, or the risks are not understood, or there is no pharmacist in the National Assembly? What exactly is responsible for this gap?
The risks are not understood. Well, they are not well understood. The general understanding is not there, and I'm praying that it will not continue this way, because FDA got into a crisis, serious crisis, before the Congress woke up and said, "Oh, so things changed."
Do we have to get to that level?
I'm praying not. I'm praying not. I'm going to, engage the presidency. I've actually engaged the presidency, but I will continue to engage the presidency that we need to be funded. Our staff need to be well compensated. The compensation of our staff shocked me.
Why? How?
I was just going through, I said, what is this one? Oh, that is the payment for director. I said, you kidding me? In Lagos? Will that person rent a house or rent an apartment? Our staff are generally not well paid. And that was part of the industrial strikes and so on before I came. And when I came, I said, that will be one of my prime projects.
Has it changed now?
It has changed some. The council, I presented this to the council, the NAFDAC council that was inaugurated last March, and I told them the consequences. They also knew about the industrial strikes and so on. So we reviewed everything, and now The allowances that are due to them are being paid. Productivity allowances. We now have started wellness program in NAFDAC, where we just do vitals for our staff, and whoever needs to go to their doctor quickly will go. You know, safety, health, safety, environmental. We are now doing that because I take my staff as prime.
Madam, sorry, this isn't there any time that you interface with the National Assembly, whether the House of Reps or the Senate? Because 8 billion naira to 200 million naira, I still come back to that, because just as you said, unless NAFDAC is well funded, compromise is very, very likely. So isn't there any way to defend the NAFDAC budget before, you know?
Actually, when I came to NAFDAC, there were a lot of things that were wrong. Take oversight function or oversight whatever that is done. I was shocked when I was told to give money. I said, money for what?
To who?
To the committee that visits us, that visited us. I said, what money?
Sorry, what committee is this?
The Health Care Services Committee of the House of Representatives. Yes. And I was shocked, first because this was the same day I went to PowerPoint presentation. We don't have equipment. About 70% of our equipment need to be upgraded. We are ISO certified, and when you use ISO uncertified equipment, there's a problem. Meaning that equipment has to have, password restricted, module, nobody can get into your data and things like that. We don't have. We don't have vehicles, and you need vehicles to go after the bad guys or to ensure compliance. Our directors didn't have computers, laptops, things like that. It was shortly after that, and they then asked me, we need welfare. I said, I cannot.
Was it for what? Organization of the seminar, the workshop?
No,
or
just visit.
To pass the budget or what?
I don't know. I said, I couldn't believe my eyes and my ears, first of all, because it saddens me.
Can that be referred to as them asking for bribe?
Yes. It saddens me. This is an organization that is bleeding, or that was bleeding. We are no longer bleeding, thank God. Bleeding profusely. It was the worst day of my life, of my professional life as the chief regulator. But it wasn't taken well at all. I was threatened, and I couldn't believe that too. You would threaten me? Oh, somebody that was acting like this from the US was also out. We made sure that that person was out of the system within a year. It saddens me because we don't have another country.
When was this? Which year was this?
This was 2017, December. Not even a month to my resumption. Not even a month to my resumption. We don't have another country. This is Nigeria. We have to handle it.
So
carefully.
How have you managed this scenario,
It hasn't been easy. I've been harassed a lot. We submitted our budget last year, March, and we were supposed to be called back to defend the budget. We didn't get any call back, and I mentioned that we have IGR, we have user fees. We can use the user fees because we have to approve products, that's a continuum. And they called us around October, I'm talking of the House now, to come and tell them what we've been doing. So I assumed that, they didn't call us, maybe something happened to the administrative, whatever. And we presented our budget. Actually, it was October, because we were about to finish paying the debt. We showed them how we've been paying the debt and how we've been spending money prudently. Nobody said anything. And then we went on Tuesday, and they said, they said, okay, could you present your 2019 budget? And I was about to present. I think I was still on first page, just general presentation, and they said, who approved your 2018 budget? I said, oh, it was acknowledged that you received our budget, and then you called us back October last year so I thought everything was fine. I said, moving on, both parties, meaning NAFDAC and the National Assembly, would look at things properly.
I thought they said somebody has been charged in that particular case. Actually,
they then asked my, when they were asking me about, did we pass, did we approve, I said, my finance director or deputy director will speak. And that was the person. They said, oh, you knew we didn't pass your budget and you were spending money. But you were spending user fees, which we have to spend the user fees to approve, you know. And that was the person. They said, oh, you have a criminal, we are levying, you know, accusing you of criminal misconduct.
All right, we'll come back to this because, I mean, as it is in our practice, when we see some of these reports, to try to contact those who are involved in it. We reached out to the House of Reps Committee on Health Services, but they declined appearing on the program. We were talking about the budget of NAFDAC because I do know that they talked about 2017, 2018 about this committee, but there are several other committees who are looking into activities of NAFDAC. For instance, there was this ad hoc committee looking into production and distribution of soft drinks. Have you had any challenge with that committee?
You mean NAFDAC?
Yeah. They usually supervise once in a while to take a look at what happens. Have you had any recent meeting?
Actually, what we had was a meeting with AFBTE, the Association of Food and Beverage, okay, in Nigeria, because they came to us that several of the juice companies in the country are folded up because of imported juice. And juice is on the prohibition list. It's on the prohibition list, meaning you shouldn't bring imported juice into the country. And we were happy to dialogue with them because they have products on the market and they need to protect their products. We have a regulatory control that we're supposed to be doing, meaning making sure that you don't have contraband or products that are on the prohibition list.